Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if I could just ask everybody in the room to make sure your phones are either switched off or put on silent, please. Right, we're ready for the pre-event press conference then for round 9 of the Motogp World Championship, the Pramac Motorrad Grand Prix of Germany. With us here today, we have race winner in Assen and World Championship leader Marc Marquez on an incredible run of 8 consecutive pole positions and race wins here at Sachsenring. 5th in Assen and 2nd overall, we have Valentino Rossi, 11 Grand Prix podiums here at the Sachsenring, including 5 wins. Maverick Vinales, 3rd in Assen and 3rd overall, 2 podiums here in Moto3 and the 125cc class, 4th in the race here last year. Andrea Dovizioso, 4th in Assen, 5th overall, with 2 MotoGP podiums here in 2012 and 2016. Jack Miller, 10th in Assen, 10th in the championship, Moto3 race winner here at Sachsenring in 2014. And Alex Rins as well, 2nd, of course, last time out in Assen, 11th overall in the championship, Moto3 winner here at the Sachsenring in 2013 and 3rd in Moto2 2015. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Ahead of round 9, before we go on, as you're probably all aware, just under an hour ago, Dani Pedrosa announced his retirement. So we're going to mix things up a little bit, and I'd like to try and get a reaction from all of you on the announcement of Dani. Of course, a great sportsman. Some of you have raced with him a number of years. Some of you have grown up watching him and have only just started racing him. So I'll start with you, Marc, as his teammate. Dani Pedrosa, please.
Yeah, of course, I think everybody was on the TV watching the press conference because, you know, Dani is one of the most important riders in the category MotoGP and with all his career, and especially because was and is my teammate. And yeah, just I want to say thanks to him because was one of the heroes for all the kids that we were following our dreams, and yeah, he was especially one of my reference, and you know, we share the box with him, we share many good moments, and yeah, of course, always is difficult to understand, but everybody will arrive on that moment, and yeah, thanks because I learned many things of him. And was one of the best riders, and like Carmelo said, he will be a legend MotoGP rider, so he deserves it, and yeah, a pleasure to be his teammate.
Thanks, Marc. Valentino?
Yeah, it's a great shame, I think, for MotoGP, because our sport lose one of the best rider in the last years, in the last period. It's also a great shame that Dani never win a world championship in MotoGP. I think he deserves minimum 1. And you know, he's also quite early, but this choice is very personal. I don't expect. I think that he will continue maybe with Yamaha, but he changed his idea. I think that he think a lot, and so it's a great shame for everybody.
Thank you. Maverick?
Yeah, I think Dani was our reference when we were just a kid, because when I started towards the bikes, he was starting to winning in 125, so he was always a point of reference. I had really good relationship with him. It's been a pleasure riding with him, with one of your idols. So I just deserved the best to him, the best luck, and yeah, will be a shame to not race more against him because was one of the best. But anyway, it was his own decision. Just congratulate him for his long career.
Thank you, Maverick. Andrea?
Yes, for me, Dani, it was always a really strong rival, and I arrived in MotoGP in World Championship 1 year after, and I think I remember very well one race in when I did the wild card in Mugello 2001 when I was racing Europe in the European Championship, and it started to rain, and that time we didn't have any experience. We was the last, and we was together because. We were together because we was very without experience and very slow. I remember very well that part of the race. And for me, Danny, it was my teammate in HRC. And in 125, 250, it was always a bit faster than me. And I tried to study a lot from him. And I learned a lot of things from his talent, his way to work during the weekend. And it was always a big reference for me for a long time. So but it's nice to see him in this condition because everybody arrived in this moment, and he feel okay. It's the moment. I take this decision. I'm happy. What he's happy what he's done, and I'm happy for him.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Jack.
Yeah, as the boys said, I mean, he is already a legend, multiple-time world champion in the lighter classes, and what he did in the MotoGP class with his size, and you know, he had such an immense talent to overcome, you know, the difficulties that he had with the MotoGP bike. So, no, it's been a pleasure to ride behind him on the track. I haven't battled with him so much; he's normally too far in front, but he's had an amazing career, and I hope that. You know, he finds something after racing that he can be so passionate about.
Thanks, Jack. And Alex.
Well, I really appreciate what he did on his career. Also, what he did in MotoGP. No, he been a lot of years winning races, doing podiums, and also it's a pleasure, no, for me to be on the track with him. No, so I hope all the best for him these next years. And it's his decision, no? So is the good one.
Thank you very much. Thanks to all of you guys. Just one quick question to each of you from myself as well. Mark, we'll start with you. After an unbelievable race in Assen, we've had time to reflect. You have a 41-point lead coming into a Grand Prix that you love, but every year with this consecutive wins, does it just add a little bit more pressure coming into Sachsenring, or are you just really excited about racing around this circuit again?
Well, of course, you know, everybody's speaking about 8 victories in a row, 8 last years, but, you know, after Assen race, I feel less pressure. I feel less pressure because in Holland, I mean, I was just a little bit worried that because on that circuit always we struggle a little bit, but this year was different. We were very competitive from the beginning, and yeah, we increased our advantage in the championship, and we arrived here in a good way. We did a test in Brno that was pretty good. So we will see during all weekend how it works, the tires, all these things, and then of course the target is try to win on Sunday, but we need to think and we need to manage that if for some reason it's impossible, because for example last year Folger was very fast. If for some reason it's not possible, it's time to take points and go to the summer break in a good way.
Thanks very much, Mark. Valentino, obviously second in the championship for you, a dramatic race in Assen. Perhaps disappointed with the end result. I'm sure you would have loved to have been on the podium. It didn't work out. What are your expectations here at Sachsenring now? And are you just taking things race by race? Because already there's a long way to go, but Mark has a very big advantage now in the championship.
Yeah, you know, the race in Assen was one of the best, for sure, one of the best of the last period. And yes, like you said, a small shame because it's already good to be there to fight in the race, and it's also special try to arrive on the podium. But at the end, you know, in a race like this, everything can happen, and with this amount of overtaking, everybody give the maximum corner by corner. So it's a shame for the podium, but remain anyway a great race. And yeah, we see. I'm second in the championship, but I am a bit far already from Mark. But we have to concentrate race by race, try to be competitive. Last year here was a quite bad race for us. We're struggling very much, so we have to give the maximum for being more competitive.
Thanks very much, Valentino. Maverick, you were just off the podium here last year, but you must be feeling so confident after an amazing race over in Assen. Have you had a chance to watch it back, and were there bits that you hadn't seen, and just how dramatic it was?
Yeah, it was nice. Nice to be back in the front, battling a lot. Yeah, I planned the five last laps to attack. I think we were able to push, but I went out and I could not have the chance. But anyway, I think the bike improved a lot, especially for my riding style. And here it's good track for me. I always like it. And last year, it's true that we struggled a little bit, but the race, we come back from the 11th place to 4th. I think we can do a good job.
Thanks very much, Maverick. Andrea, you're in a bit of a different situation today as you were 12 months ago when we arrived at the Saxon Ring. How was your mindset coming into this one? You just missed out on the podium, much like Maverick did here last year. How are you feeling? Because obviously recently there's been a few falls. Is the mindset fine? Are you still happy with the way that the Ducati is performing in 2018?
Well, this season is a completely different story than last year. I believe we are in a bit better situation than last year because we are faster more or less in every track. This is positive. But unfortunately, we did a mistake. We did too many zero. And if you look, the championship is bad. But like before us, and I was confident, and I'm confident also for here. We know this is not the best track for us. But overall, I think we can be competitive. And just during the weekend, you can understand what you can do. The tire are different than last year, so we have to understand how is the tire because it will affect the weekend for sure. I think we are in a better situation than the past. So we have to keep working, improve a little bit in the way we manage the tire because I think still our situation is not good as last year about that. So we are focused on that.
Thanks very much, Andrea. On to Jack. You started the season so well. Everything was going very positive. Of course, consecutive top 10s. Then a couple of blips. But you must be relieved to be back in the points and in the top 10 over in Assen, despite the fact that you weren't able to mix it up with these guys in that epic race.
Yeah, definitely. To finish the race was good after Barcelona and Mugello. Like you said, we started the season off so good, and you know, with the fourth in Jerez and also in Le Mans, it seemed like it was going really well. But then, yeah, we just ran into some struggles in Mugello in the race, and then also in Barcelona with the bike breaking down. So it was nice to come across the line, but it was also, you know, a little painstaking to watch that awesome battle going on in front of us through the whole race in Assen, and not to be a part of it. It was, you know, they were just there. It was sort of like a carrot in front, but looking forward to this weekend. It's a track that I've done well at in the past, but on the MotoGP bike, it's a complete different story. It's so tight around here. It's technical. I'm looking forward to riding the Ducati around here, that's for sure. And no, it's always a special one here with the weather and everything like that, as we've seen in the past. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a good weekend, and we just got to attack it the right way.
Thanks very much, Jack. Lastly, over to Alex. You come here off the back of your best ever MotoGP result. It's been a bit of an up and down season so far, a brilliant result in Argentina, a few tumbles. I'm sure you must be really confident, though, that the second half of the season has to be sort of more consistent.
Yeah, we hope. No, we start the season with a very good performance on the pre-season, finishing on the top. But then since Qatar start to crash in mostly all the races, no, but always fighting on the first and second group. So this is important, no. And now I'm feeling that our bike is very competitive. It's working really good. The Suzuki guys wants to win, no. So I will try to give my best in every practice, and try to do a good race like we did the last 2 weeks.
Thanks very much, Alex. That's all from me. Amy's here to ask some social media questions later, but before that, floor questions, please.
First from Star MotoGP, a question for Andrea, Valentino, and Mark about Danny. Because of your experience, what have you learned during these years of Danny on the riding style, on how he approached the races, despite your experience and you have a lot of titles and wins?
Yeah, of course. I can say that when I arrived in MotoGP, he teach how to ride on the bike. I mean, of course, I arrived there and I take the bike. I was not so bad, but then all the details. Who was my teammate? My teammate was Danny, and I had the honor to learn about him because he was riding really good. Like he say on the press conference, his physical condition I think was some disadvantage in MotoGP, but in the way of technique and performance, the sensibility with the bike, he's one of the best riders in MotoGP, and then I learned many things from him. And like he say also, when he have everything on his place and he has the day, it's nearly unbeatable. I mean, he just start the race and open one gap to 1 second, 2 seconds, and then it's impossible to catch him again. So yeah, I learned many things, but one of the most important things is this one, that he always believe on him and yeah, find his 100%.
Danny is always a very technical rider. His style is always very clever and clean. So is good to follow and try to understand. He is always very clean in braking, try to don't slide a lot, and also was one of the first one to pick up the bike in acceleration very early. That I think is one of the particularity of his riding style. He worked a lot on himself and he improved during the years his weak point, like the rain, under the rain, that at the beginning he was very slow. So I think this, yes.
Yeah, especially is in the way he picked up the bike, it was amazing. So in 125, 250, already did a big change in that way, and still in MotoGP continue in that way. And especially for my riding style, I was studying a lot, and that was one of the worst points for me. And I was try to learn as much as possible to try to repeat or going in that way. And also in 125, especially in 125 and 250, in the way he prepared the weekend and the practice, I think it was very good. And for me, it was an important situation to have in front of me to understand, to try to follow that way, and I learned a lot, and I was able to improve my style, my way to approach the weekend, for sure.
I have a question for Mark and for Valentino and for Maverick. This could be the last Grand Prix here at this circuit. What do you think of that? And if we go away from here, where would you like to go?
I'm very disappointed, of course. I mean, we will see. I think one race in Germany we need to have for the championship, because we have many fans here, and also for the manufacturers it's important. It's one of the most important parts in Europe, countries in Europe, and we will see. It's not clear, but I hope to continue here, honestly speaking.
So it's true that maybe it's the last. Fuck. I lose a bet with the Pecco, a pista. So it's a shame, because for me Sachsenring is a very particular track. Sometimes not easy, but different than all the rest, especially for the up and down, for the downhill and uphill. Long time here, because I think that the first time was in '98, and the track changed during the year. Yeah, where we can go? So, allora, I think maybe Hockenheim, the new Hockenheim. But I think it's a very car track, Formula One track. I was there with the car, and it's not so bad. But I don't know with the bike. Or I think Nürburgring, the new Nürburgring. I race in the new Nürburgring in the old times. I think 96, 97. Always difficult weather, but the track was good also for the bike. I think so. Maybe we have these three options.
Well, I think Sachsenring is really particular track. I really like. So it's a shame it will go off. But anyway, also I think to have one race in Germany is important for our factory. So let's hope we can have it.
Another question for you, Maverick. I saw on Twitter a picture of you on a standard R1. I don't know if it's recent or not. I know Valentino is already using it sometimes. What's the feeling? What do you learn? How much fun is it?
Well, it's no better way to train than on the bike. So I just try to train on the bike some hours, trying to get the feeling before to came to the Grand Prix. Honestly, it's very different, but the R1 it's really good, and I really enjoy it.
Question for Mark, Valentino and Dovi. Last weekend, the British Grand Prix was at Silverstone, and there was a lot of complaints from the drivers about how bumpy it was despite the new surface. Did you watch it, and can you give us your opinions on what you saw, if you did?
Yeah, I watch it, and looks bumpy. Looks bumpy, even really aggressive bumps. So will be better grip than before, but the bumps looks more or less the same. Will be not like Jerez or Montmeló, Le Mans, but we will see there.
Allora, very difficult to understand from the TV. I think we need to go with the bike. A lot of drivers speak quite bad about the new asphalt, and it's a great shame because Silverstone is a great track. But one of the problems are the bumps, and especially that during the lap you have like 4 or 5 different type of asphalt, no? So difficult to understand. I don't know. I hope for very good work, like for example in Catalonia. But I hope that is not worse than last year. I think I hope that that can be good.
Yes, we have to try on the bike to understand very well. But if the drivers complain, I think on the bike will be worse.
Question for Valentino and Dovi. Where in this part, in this track, which part your Yamaha and your Ducati is losing to the Hondas, and can you improve it?
Good question. We hope. Usually here, Mark is very strong everywhere. So you have a first part that is very tight, and after become medium fast, and after become also more fast. I don't know if we have a particular part where we lose, or if it's a little bit everywhere. Speaking about me, last year we suffered very much, but the bike of last year for me was very difficult because we have a lot of understeer, and in a tight track like this we suffer. So we hope with the bike of this year, I expect, and especially I hope to be more strong.
For sure, we are very strong in the acceleration, and this track doesn't have a lot of acceleration. You have to stay with the angle for most of the lap, so this is on the paper is not the best. But I want to wait the weekend. I think we can be more competitive than last year. I hope.
Question for you, Andrea. Last year, when your strong point was to get the best of the tire, especially at the end of the race, and you just said that is no more the case. Could you explain why? Is it more the evolution of the bike, or the tire, or something else?
we are focused on that, but I don't want to say is our problem. I think is one aspect where we can be better. Is different, and I think the tire is a bit different than last year, and this is the reason why we are not good like last year. So we have to try to find the way to manage the tire like last year. That's it.
Mark, Leon Camir announced today that he's broken his neck and won't be able to ride at Suzuka for the 8R. Have Honda phoned you up yet to see if you're interested in going?
I have. I plan already my holidays next week. So, no, unfortunately for Leon, yeah, I hope a great recovery for him. But yeah, I always say that maybe one day will be good. But the problem is that every year we have more races, more tests, less time. So in the end, also your body needs to have some recovery, because it's not only the race, it's the test, the travel, all these things. But we have time. I mean, maybe when you stop your career, maybe then you have the chance or something like this.
Okay, that's it from questions from the floor. Over to Amy for social media questions.
Okay, so guys, our first question is in reference to World Emoji Day. So you have a piece of paper that is being passed along now. If you can each take one, you also have a pen. And I'm going to leave this one with you, so we'll come back to it at the end. But whilst we get through the rest of the questions, the question is from Adam on Twitter, and he asked, if you could describe your season so far with 3 emojis, what would they be? So just give them a nice big circle, and we'll do show and tell at the end of the press conference. So, Alex, I'm going to come to you first. Anna on Instagram has asked you, are you a fan of other sports? And if so, which ones?
Well, yes, I like mostly all sports, like bicycles, skiing, no, cars, everything. I would like to try one day in some races, do some races with car, you know, maybe in World Rally Car or I don't know, but yeah.
Thank you. And, oh, it's gone. Are we back? Oh, well. Valentino, I'm going to come to you next. And this one comes from Daffa on Instagram. And they've asked, if you could choose anyone in the world to have dinner with, who would you choose?
Allora, direi... difficult to say, because you have to choose between a very good historic man that makes something special, or a very beautiful girl, I think. So I won't say Charlize Theron.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Brains and beauty.
I choose the second option. Good girl, a good girl.
Unsurprisingly. Andrea, we're coming to you next. James on Twitter has asked you, what is the perfect quality in a teammate?
Be slow. I don't know. Have a respect, and this is not easy.
No, thank you. Mark, Tom on Facebook has asked you, are you supporting France or Croatia in the World Cup final?
Everybody's asking the same.
Oh, really?
I mean, I think French have is a favorite one, but I appreciate a lot what Croatia is doing, because only 4 million persons country, small country. So which one? French for this journalist, Croats for the other one. No, but
nothing to do with the fact they beat England last night, then.
Yeah, of course. I was pushing for Spain, but already in the third round out. So will be. I think the favorite one is French, but Croats they deserve.
Okay, thanks, Mark. Maverick, Martin on Facebook has asked, what would you tell your 10-year-old self?
Be calm. Be calm. Be calm. Yeah, I was too enthusiastic when I was 10 years old. Too much.
Thank you. Jack, Alison on Twitter has asked you, what is the strangest thought you had before a race and during a race?
Strangest thought before a race. Normally I'm not thinking much about before the race. All I'm thinking is like, I need to go to the toilet, but I just went to the toilet and there's nothing there, so why am I going back again? During the race is not much going through. You're looking to the front, thinking many thoughts. How is my tire? You think you can get there? No, I don't know. Maybe it's too far. You know, you always... I feel I'm talking to myself a lot, so it's hard to say at one exact thought, but strange, I don't know.
Thanks, Jack. Okay, I think it's about time we have a look at what emojis you have decided to use to describe your season so far. So shall we go one at a time or all at the same time? One at a time, okay. Alex, you first. If you want to hold your piece of paper up to us in the audience. Oh, no, everyone's making their decisions now. Okay, we'll do the little tick-tock, tick-tock. Alex, you ready? Perfect. Yes. So you have gone for... Tell us what you've gone for.
I take first one the fire,
yeah.
The fire, because on the beginning of the season you need to be on fire for start the races, no? Then the unicorn, because well, in the first part of the season I crashed many times and was like my moment, you know. And
yeah.
What? What'd you say?
You crashed a lot and it was your unicorn moment.
Yes. And then the last one I take the power, no, the strength, because now we are on the good moment.
Perfect. Thank you. Andrea. You can show us and then show the camera.
Yes, that one is the champagne is Qatar. It was a good start. This one was Le Mans after the race, after the crash, and this is the situation I'm now. I have to keep working to come back in a stronger position.
Thank you. Valentino, are you ready?
Yes. Allora.
Let's see them.
Dove devo fare vedere? Là. Allora, the first one. Ok, c'è là il black sotto. The first one is the trophy because no, I'm quite happy because I have 4 trophies already. The second one is my face when I think that I don't arrive better than third, like this. So I have to open more the throttle for the second half of the season.
Thank you. Mark.
So, first of all, I choose the ant. Because, you know, I have in the helmet and in the pre-season you need to work work in the small details because then it's coming the storm. And then the second one I take the man like this because it's like another save and I don't want to repeat. And the last one is the trophy because we are here, we are working, we are in the press conference, but everybody won the trophy. So we are there. Okay.
Maverick.
Okay. I start with the fire because we always come back, even if we have bad moments, and we always come back on fire. Then I choose the gas because we need to keep it even more open. Then I choose this one because sometimes doing the same I'm 11 or 12, so I don't understand. I'm just thinking. And then this one, sometimes I need to use at home, you know, to be a good boy. So.
Perfect, thank you. And last but not least, Jack, what have you gone for?
The first one I went for is that. The lady like that. Because that was sort of my face in Argentina when I was sat on the grid by myself. The next one is the poo. Because that's been the last couple of races. And the next one is red, but I think it's going up. So I'm going to pick that one because the rest of the season is going to go up.
Nice. Thanks, guys.
Right, that's it. Thank you very much, gentlemen. If I could ask you now to please stand for the photo, and everyone here just remain seated for now. Thank you.
Okay, guys, please.